All right, so one of the tough topics when you move away to school is just handling homesickness. And I am from Atlanta, Georgia, so I am a good 12.5-hour drive from my home and a nice 2-hour flight from Houston, and that's a 2-hour drive from College Station. So I've had a little bit of experience with it, but just one of the things that I like to do to kind of help myself feel better is kind of just take full advantage of everything that Texas A&M has to offer. I mean, College Station's much different than the North Georgia mountains, but I think that College Station still has a lot to offer, and I've gone on a lot of drives to kind of just familiarize myself with kind of the whole College Station, Bryan area, and even kind of ventured off into the little towns that are 30-20 minutes away from College Station just to see kind of what else is out there. And surprisingly, there's a lot. I mean, Navasota is a little small town 30 minutes away, but it's got a great little history to it and a nice place to kind of walk around and get to see kind of what else is going on. And another thing that I really like to do is just kind of meeting people. I mean, you're gonna meet so many people from all over Texas and all over the world, and I just think it's really cool to hear what other people have gone through in their life and kind of how we have different childhood experiences because we grew up in different areas. And I think that that's one of the most interesting things to get to talk about, because you really get to find out what people are like in that situation. I mean, you get to see what they like, what they don't like, and I mean, I've made a lot of friends in Houston, and now I get to go to their house for family dinners when I'm feeling like I want to go home, but you know, that's not really the best option. But just be yourself and be comfortable. I mean, it's all uncomfortable for everybody, even for kids who are from College Station. They're going to miss being at home. And so just being able to kind of recognize that you're all in this together, that you're all kind of at this summer camp, essentially, trying to be away from home. I mean, that's a huge benefactor in making yourself feel better and making yourself not miss home as much. And I mean, luckily we have so much technology right now. I mean, you can FaceTime your parents every single day. I mean, kids 10 years ago couldn't do that. And now we get the opportunity to just constantly be in contact with people from home and just kind of getting to stay in touch with them. I mean, it's way easier than it used to be, and that's a really good thing to do because you get to talk about everything that new that you're going through being here in College Station, and that's something that other people don't get the chance to do. So freshman year, I just decided to go home only 3 times during the whole school year. I went home for Thanksgiving, I went home for Christmas break, and I went home a little bit for spring break. But other than that, I didn't get to go home during any of that time. And I think that I wanted to go home at least once a month or something, but that just wasn't in the cards for me to be able to do because I'm so far away. And so just kind of recognizing that even though you can't go home, a lot of people here can't go home too, because even if they're from Texas, they could be from Lubbock and be 6 or 7 hour drive away from College Station, and you can't really make that as a weekend trip. And so I just think that if you kind of balance that you're gonna meet people who can't go home too, you're kind of all in this camaraderie of we're both kind of stuck here, but we'll make the most of it. And that's when you get to really get to kind of venture out and do new things. You can always take a day trip to a lake somewhere, or take a day trip down to Galveston for the beach if you want. I mean, we're luckily close to all of that, so you can do that. But just knowing that you've got to go home at some point because you miss your family and you want to see them, but also college is all about growing up and getting to live your own life and kind of figuring out how to be on your own. And I think that it's really important to not go home every time you can, because then you aren't going to really give the full shot of A&M or Blinn or any of the schools around here a chance. I mean, just you've got to be fully committed to being here and giving it a chance before you can say that I miss it, I want to go home, I don't like it here. I mean, you've got to be able to give it 100%, or else that's not fair to the school, the town, or anything like that.